Hello, in this video we're going to talk about how to recreate an existing website into maybe a more modern look in WordPress. We are going to use WordPress blocks and patterns and the whole full site editing experience, and we're going to be on a call with Kevin from Designer Logic, and we're going to go and look at his existing website and what he can do to start redesigning his website now using WordPress blocks. It's gonna be a very interesting video because it's gonna allow us to see how you can get started just going through and using patterns to your advantage, and you don't have to rely on the strictness of what a WordPress theme used to look like. Hope you enjoy, and excuse my voice because I'm just coming out of a cold. So, see you in the video. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go to InstaWP, which allows us to create a new WordPress website just out of the box. So we do wp.new, and that will open a new WordPress website. As you can see, it's just setting up the site in the cloud, securely logging in, and then it's done, it's ready, and we can use it immediately. So here it is, welcome to WordPress. It's got the latest stable version. We could update to whatever version we want or downgrade or whatever, but this is a full on WordPress site. There it is. All right, and it's fast. So here obviously we can go to settings, change the name of the site to, what's the name of the site?
Designerlogic.com. One word.
Okay, like that.
Yep.
Okay, so that's the name of the site title. That's what's shown above, and then the address we don't have to think about right now. That can be changed later on.
Just take the .com off. I didn't realize that was the title.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So that's the site title. And then what is the time zone?
It is what are you looking at here?
So let's see, we could do America, we could do time zone, we can do Chicago, we can do Los Angeles, we can do Eastern, Central, Mountain.
New York, I guess.
New York. Okay, New York. Perfect. So let's go down here. And this is something I recommend that you do at the beginning. If you're doing a new site, just set the time zone first before a lot of other things, just so that everything in the logs and everything makes sense. So set the site title and the time zone. The URL doesn't matter right now because you could be building this on a host, on a staging site, or whatever. It doesn't matter while you're developing, and then eventually you'll change it once you have that domain that you're pointing to. So save changes, and that's it. So now, if you visit the site, it says Designer Logic at the top. This is using the default WordPress theme right now. If I go to Appearance Themes, it'll show me that I'm using 2023, which is a WordPress theme. However, we want to use a full site editing theme like 2024 that's coming out soon with WordPress 6.4. But we are going to use, for the purposes of this video, the Ollie WP theme, which is very nice. So Ollie, and here it is, and we're going to install it. It's installing the theme, and this theme is very nice because it uses full site editing, but it's also very well crafted, very well designed. So now, if I go and visit the site, there we are. Haven't changed anything, but it already looks nice. Okay, it's still just showing a blog post here, and it's got a footer and a header. And so it's using what we call patterns to show items in a certain place. So the way patterns work is that you can, for any page or post, you can use these patterns to create predetermined layouts that you can then modify. It's really nice. For example, if we go to the site right now, this is just showing like the posts page, which is a typical thing. If I go to the sample page, it's just showing a sample page that comes with WordPress. Now, let's say I want to edit this page. I'm not going to edit the site itself, just the page. I can go to Edit Page here at the top, and it's welcoming to the block editor. Can go through this if I want, but basically the block editor allows you in this space, which is the block editor, to add text, headlines or headings, images, videos, whatever you want. So I'm going to remove all of this, just bye. I'm just deleting everything, and I'm just going to start creating something. So you can start off with whatever, like heading. If you do slash, it'll show you the blocks. heading. And if I do heading, I can say, I don't know, designer logic, or if it's one word, like that, just to show something. And here it's great because with the block editor, it's all visual. If I go to the right, I can see the information for the block, so I can change the color of the text if I want. I can change the color of the background of the text. I can change the typography if I want it to be a different size. If I want it to be bold, for example, I could change the case. Like all of these really nice things that we do with fonts, of course. And then you can do padding and margin with it as well for that specific block. So it's very neat because it's all visual. And then here I could just press enter and start typing, and it would be a paragraph. So start typing some text, and it's just what you see is what you get editor. I can do bold and italics and things like that. But it becomes interesting when you start using the patterns, because patterns allow us to have these predefined layouts. So here I could do / to choose a block, or I could just press the little thing here and just search for something in here. Like I said before, if I just choose image, I could just upload and choose an image, but I could also use a pattern. And so I'm going to press this little thing, and I'm going to do browse all, and then I'm going to go to patterns. So here are all the patterns that I can look at. But if you click down here where it says explore all patterns, it'll show me the patterns that come with the theme in a visual representation. So now I can be like, oh, okay, let's see. I want a hero section. Oh, very nice. Okay, so which one do we like? And then we'll do one right now for the site, but let me just grab this one. There it is. And so it's already beautiful, right? And I could just go in and change the text for whatever I want. And then I could just update the page, and I could click view page, and there it is. However, obviously you don't want this top part, and that's just because of the page template, which I'll discuss in a little bit. But I mean, it's so clean now, and you can just start building with those patterns. So the plan here is we're going to look at a website that I haven't looked at before, and we're going to try to recreate the content, but in a more modern way. All right. And so Kevin here is going to be sharing with us his existing site that he wants to update. And so we're going to try to recreate something more modern for that same content. So, hello, Kevin. And let's jump in here to first look at your site, the existing one, and then from there we can go in and start working. Sound good? What is the URL?
It's designerlogic.com.
Designerlogic.com.
Yep.
All right. So here we can see the website. We've got a logo section at the top. We've got contact, sign up, pricing, additional services, project management here. We've got this section with some content, some explainers, what all of these points do, testimonials, some features with some screenshots, project management. We've got the web clipper, how items and work, it's benefited, notifications, prompts, and all that. So all these features we can see here. There's an export to QuickBooks feature, and there's some pricing and additional services. So I'm thinking, from what I understand here, is this is all on the same page, right? At the moment.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. Who we are. Try Designer Logic. Perfect. All right. So what we want to do is to start building something that makes sense for your content. So we're going to look at the patterns and see if we can start with a hero and then start with different feature sections to see if we can get something that looks similar to what you would like. Okay?
Gotcha.
So what I was showing here before, I just built a sample page. And the thing is, if you look here on the right, it says it's using the pages template. What does that mean? It means that all the pages within WordPress, unless you specify a different rule, will use this template. And the template is the following one. I'm going to edit it. It's a header, this one here, the section, the content, and the title, and then the footer. Okay, so I'm going to show you in a different way. If we go to this edit site button, this is the full site editing feature. If we go to the edit site button, it'll show us the site editor. We have this bar on the left, and it's showing pages. And it's saying display all static pages unless a custom template has been applied or a dedicated template exists. So what does this mean? That any page that you create will have this header section. All right, and I'm going to do the navigator here so it makes sense. Header section, and then there's a group that contains the title, the post featured image, and the content. The content is whatever you actually make in the page, and then a footer. So just for starters, this is very blog-like of WordPress from the original WordPress. And so it doesn't make sense for pages, really. So what we're doing here, first of all, we're getting rid of this group here because we don't want the title of the page and an image for the page because we're really doing a custom page. So we're going to just click here and delete, and it's gone. And now we just have the post content, right? So we have the header, we have the footer, and we have this group that has the post content within it. And then we can open a sidebar here on the right that shows us the details for all of the sections. So what, I'm going to save it. And what this shows is that every page is going to have this header, the footer, and the post content. Now I might want to change some things. For example, for the group, I might want to go to styles and remove all this padding here, right? Because sometimes, especially when I do like an edge-to-edge hero section, it'll look funny if there's some padding after the header, right? So I'm just going to remove all the padding there because we can do the padding in the pages themselves. And then we may have some side padding if we want or not. I probably leave it without any side padding, again, because this gives us this container where we have a header, a footer, and then you could do whatever you want in between with the page. Okay, so I'm just going to save this. And so now if I go back and view it, here it is. I'm going to go to that sample page, and I've got the header, I've got the image, the image background with its color cover, and then we've got the footer. So this is great because now you have something to start with, and we can design a very nice header if we want. We can design a very nice footer, and then we can build these pages out. So I'm going to do a very quick example of adding patterns to a page just to show viewers how quick you can get started with something that looks nice, and then we can look at the patterns and see which ones fit in for your site. All right, so I'm going to do edit page again, and we had this hero. Maybe we like it, maybe we don't. I'm going to press add block down here, go to browse all, go to patterns, explore all patterns, and then I'm just going to look at other patterns. So for example, maybe features, right? Maybe I want to show some features like this. It looks good. Cool. There it is. So we've got this section, really nice. And then maybe below that, I want to add another pattern. Maybe I want to do some testimonials, right? Yeah, there we go. And then maybe between these, I wanted to add something. So there's a few ways to add things. You can always click on something and then just click on the little dots and do add before or add after, and it'll add before or after. Or you can always open the navigator, which is helpful as well. You have an outline, and then from here you can see what you have. So just an overall view of the page. We have this cover, which is the top section. We have this group section, which contains the paragraph, the heading, the paragraph, and then we've got this stack, which shows all these little squares. And we've got another group down here. So we very visually can see where everything is. So maybe before this testimonials one, I can click that, do add before, and add something else. Maybe something with more color so we can do some contrasts, right? So maybe pricing with a different color, right? And so now I'm just going to update this. And again, this was just a quick thing so we can see what can be done. So now we have this site that we started a couple of minutes ago with a nice header, some features, pricing section, testimonials, frequently asked questions, and more testimonials down here, right? So it's very fast, very easy to do. And then we can just edit anything. So you can change these texts, just write in them, whatever. And then you can even bold and italicize things in here. You can completely remove sections, add an image in here if you wanted to. Like, you could do whatever you want. And then you could undo things as well, which is very nice. So it's all visual. We can move sections around. We can change, like maybe we want this after this one. You can just click this little thing, and it moves it down, right? Or you can grab it and drag it up. So it's all very easy to use and very flexible, because now you can change colors, weights, font sizes, everything here. So you have the size. You could do like large. You want to don't be that intense, etc. So there we are. And then you can link sections, right? So like features. So I could do like platform features, and I can link to another page or another section within the page, etc. So everything is very easy to use. So what do you think about that? Does it look simple, straightforward?
Yeah, it looks great. It's amazingly fast.
Yeah. It's also, yeah, it's very fast to use, and it's also very performant. Like, all this is going to be processed in milliseconds. And so the site itself is going to be very fast. It depends on your host, of course, but in any host, something like this should be very fast. And we can also change the header and everything. So now what we can do is just start trying to build something for a starter homepage, right? So we can maybe make a header that looks a little more like what you're looking for, and then we can continue with the rest of the page, all right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do new, I'm going to do page, okay? And this we can call home, okay? And I'm going to publish it. Has nothing in it. It's just a page. It's empty, okay? So for this page, this is where we're going to start the homepage itself. So let's just view it. There it is. And maybe we want this to be the homepage. So how do you do that? Well, just for reference here, I'm going to say this is the homepage. So it has something inside. All right. Cool. Now I'm going to go to the settings in WordPress. I'm going to close all this. Here we are. And you can always get to the settings if you click a little house here, or the dashboard. But what I'm going to do is when I go to settings, reading, I'm going to change that the home page is going to be a page that I set instead of always show your latest posts. And that's one of the important things that you always do with a WordPress site, because that way you can now just go to the main URL and that's the home page. You don't have to do like /home. All right. So let's start off with the header. How do we start setting up a header? Well, you go to edit site, and then we click anywhere here in the square, and it shows us the page template again. So now I want to click the top part, and as you see here, it's showing us where I am. I'm in the header, and I can open this again so you can see this purple section. We're editing the header. So here we likely want to grab an image, the logo, and show it here, right? So do we have a logo that we want to show there, or do we just want to show the text? We've got a logo here, and so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do image, and it could be site logo. There's one like this that you can do as well, and then you can upload the site logo. So I'm going to just drag it from the computer. There it is, and then I can make it a little smaller. And typically the site logo one can be linked to the homepage automatically, and it could be used as a site icon, so it's nice. And then this I can get rid of. I don't need it anymore. And so this might make more sense, I think, right? And you could add the text designer logic next to it as well. So let's see. So for this text, for example, what do you think you would have in the navigation? right?
What's in the old one, really?
So
The
you
same.
have home, contact, sign up, pricing, services, blog, and login.
The blog you can take off. Actually, the login I actually wanted to have a little the login on the site here,
Mm-hmm.
but right now it's just a link to it.
Okay, yes, and that's another thing you can do with the header. Like you can have the navigation maybe in the middle, and then the login little drop down on the right, or you can even put it right next to it as well. It's also
Yeah.
possible. So here, for example, we might want to do like home, and then we might want to do features, for example. Let's just say features, and I'm just gonna, it's temporarily dummy content. And then we maybe want to do, I don't know, pricing, might be another page. And then what else? Do you want to do like testimonials?
What people look for generally is just trial, like free trial, or
Okay, so here's a thought. So you can do home features pricing and then contact, for example. So home features pricing and
yeah,
then
contact.
maybe we just want to add, we can also do this. And make this smaller. And we can make it less padding. And with padding, it'll do your base sizes based on what the theme style is. But you can also do set custom size, and then you could just do whatever you want there as well. So sometimes you want to do that, sometimes you don't. So there it is. And then what we can do here is we can add a row. So here, for example, I can say I can add a row or a group, whichever you prefer. And within that row, I can drag this guy in here. If it lets me. And sometimes you want to do it in, oh, because I was trying but not the buttons. Okay, there it is. So here it is. And I'll explain that in a second. And then the navigation, I might want it here in the row as well. All right. So why did I say buttons? So the new version of the WordPress that has the blocks has a buttons block that allows you to have multiple buttons within it. Right. So here you can add another button called login, for example, and have that one be like a secondary.
Cool.
Right. And then within the buttons block, you can also do things like block spacing so that it's not too much. So you have these separate containers. And so now this might be a bit too big. So I'm going to change that and save it just so we can see it. And now it is very clean. We can add the text here, like I said. You can have home features, pricing, something else, and then some additional things. And then you can have a start trial and login. And then we can actually start
Right.
building,
Right.
right? So,
Nice.
so here, now for the home page. So let's say we're here. Let's go to the home page. We don't have anything in it. So let's go and edit page. And we can start, just going to delete this, building something within the home. So what do you think would be a good top section? So we're going to look at the patterns, browse all, patterns, explore all patterns, and then I'm going to do hero. So which of these do you think sort of applies to
I mean,
what you want to do?
probably the one you're on now, or the one next to it. The the one to the right, probably. It
This one?
depends on the. Yeah, probably that, because right now the site's kind of white based.
Okay. Okay, so you like the idea of having an image.
Yeah, I think that's helpful.
Okay. So we can do that. Here we are. And then we can start typing. So for example, project. Okay, so what is here? I can
So
do.
project management is kind of like the focus of the whole product.
Okay.
That needs to be like really clear that that's what the product is.
Okay, but what we need to do is with this first content that they're seeing, it has to be completely clear to people what what the what they're getting and within the industry that they're getting. So project management is very vague, broad. So you might want to do something like
Interior design project management.
yes. So you could do something like project management, like even like what they had there, like reimagined, right? And so if you do something like that, and then here you can do something like something related to interior design, then that would make more sense.
Mhm.
So your titles are very important, your headings, headlines, because they should portray something immediately to the user so that they understand
What is it?
what they're gonna get and why they are here. So
Right.
project management, very big. We should do something like I don't know. Like it could be something something fancy, creative, um, like an interior designer's dream, right? Or something like that. It could be something cheeky like that, or you could write something that's specific. But you like we could do. not we're not gonna use weapon, but you can do something like that, and then something like
Yeah, yeah.
man, or you could do something like clear
Yeah, you'd want to, yeah, like
or
make it
like
clear.
finally. So you can play around with the text, of course, but oh well, I mean not one. And then we can do typography. I think no, we just have two fonts, but okay. So take back your or something, and then here, then you write something like what is something that designer logic allows you. Um,
Yeah, right.
So what I would recommend for something like this, you can grab text that you already have and then filter it in through a generative AI tool to summarize. So you don't want it to like build everything for you, but you can say something like, okay, so I have this text, give me three or four nice headlines. And then it'll
Mhm.
give you something, then you can work with it. So I'm gonna do it now. Okay, so we can do it here and then try it out. So for example, I've got seamless project planning from start to finish.
I would not put planning because it's actually implementation of the project and execution of the project as well. It's like planning through execution or something, basically.
Oh, so can we do like
Yeah, or to planning through completion or something like that.
okay? And so here I can say I want the letter case like that. Okay, and so this can change completely, right? But at least you've got something. Here you can get start a free trial, and then here you can say learn more, right? And so now this page has this, and here you could show a video of it. So if you have, do you have a YouTube video on it, or
I do actually have a couple older ones that are like kind of describe exactly what it is. It's almost like an animation video. Um,
Okay, so here you can do the image or you could do a video. But let's see what it looks like now. And so it's a very clean, modern look. We've got planning to completion, seamless project implementation from start to finish, and then you can have like this video going here. A lot of, especially SaaS websites, do that. One of those other patterns that we were looking at, where they're doing
Yeah, I'm not
this.
stuck on that one pattern. If you have a better idea,
Like
definitely.
this is very common,
Mm-hmm.
where or something like this, but this is very common where you have this sort of the same text, right? But you might have an image here on the right or a video running here on the right, but it gives you a lot of information in one place instead of just like this is very good, but then you have to scroll down to get to the visual part. So
Well, the second one looks better actually.
yeah,
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
so we could do the same sort of planning through completion here, and then do this text, paste it here, and then we can grab this and paste it here, and then we can have like a review. Okay, and so this looks nice. I like it. So here, I'm gonna get rid of the cover one. Just click on it, delete. There it is. And so this looks nice. And then here on the right, you could do start free trial, and you can have an image of it if you have an image of it. So let's see. Do we have an image of it here? Even if it's an old, just like a.
The web clipper one is probably the better image to use.
Okay,
Use
so.
the clipper one above it.
Oh,
It's there you go in the middle. Yeah, one of those images is probably better.
okay, so this, if I could grab it, unfortunately, it's got a lock on it, but let's do here, grab this image. Okay, there it is. And so here, instead of all this, I could do image, and then I can upload.
Yeah, that looks nice. Yeah.
And then I can round it, so you can click that, and then you can do things with it like a rounded full or just like a little rounded, and then you can different borders, or just keep it default and just add a border radius if you want. Whatever you want to do. It's flexible. But then we can go and grab the group here. And if you're wondering, like, how do you get to the sections? So this is, we're looking at the heading block. But then if we click here, it says select row. So it'll select the row. And then if you click again, it'll select the group, which is the whole thing. And if I click again, it'll select the column. Like, but you can use the outline, and it's easier a lot of times. But just quick tricks here. So I'm gonna get rid of like the maybe this text. I don't need. Maybe I don't really need this whole row. So I'm gonna delete it. And I don't think I need that separator as well. And then for the group itself, this whole group, it looks like it has a lot of padding. So we might want to just go less crazy on the padding. If you want to do with a background, but really, I mean, we could do no background on it.
Yeah, that looks better actually. Yeah.
Whatever yeah, there it is. And so it's yeah, a lot cleaner. And then we can make some additional adjustments, like these are the columns, and for columns we can see here that we are aligning. Okay, we're doing white width, but we might want to do align top, and that's way this one is going to be aligned top. And so it's cleaner. right? And
Yeah,
then
looks good.
this text, or learn more. And we can change, again, select it, just change the text. Link will, oh, this won't make sense. I have to change the link as well. There it is. And so this button, again, you can just click it. You can go here to styles. You can change the background color of the button as well. You can change the color of the text as well. And we can update. And now,
That looks much better. Yeah.
yeah, it's very clean, right? I feel there's too much padding here at the top. So I like things having room to breathe, not so much room to breathe.
Yeah, that's a lot of padding. You're right.
So you can go to the group here and then just go to this little thing, the style, go down, and you can see the padding here for the top down. So we can just ease off of it a little bit. And I think that's better. Update. And as you can see, this is all visual, and this is the way it all works. You can go into the styles and the code and everything if you want. You can add CSS, you can add your own styles to it. Still, you can do that. But this is everything that we've been doing, just drag and drop. And so you might say even at some point, like, I really like this sort of subtle white and then slight purplish blue background, but maybe for me, for my brand, I need it to be a more like grayish, light gray background, not so much purple, but heading more towards blue. That's fine because you can actually, if you want it to be very, very flexible, you can go through and build everything like this and keep their colors, but the contrasts, and then later on, go and edit the color palette and just change those main colors for the main colors that you want, and then everything will change. And I can show you a quick example of what that looks like. If I go to, like, I'm here, I click edit site, you can have color palettes or styles, and I'm just going to show what they're capable of. But you have this site, right? This page, just going to change it to orange.
Oh yeah, nice.
So now everything changed, the colors, the background. So you can modify these styles or create a new one even. And in here, you can go and change the colors for those main colors. This is the palette. And so you can change the blue to whatever your brand blue, which is a little more, well, less purple. So I'm not grabbing the original one, but we can. And so here it is. And then maybe the light background also. Like, this is nice, but maybe I just want a little less purplish. Right? So I don't know. It's up to you, of course. But
that's cool.
So, and then you can save these. And then, so now we've got that. And we're going to save that custom style. And so I can now go and view the site again. And I've got these.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, that looks
so how long have we taken? And it's usable, right?
so fast. So where would you put the name Designer Logic up there that looked right?
I would say that up here, the logo part. So I would go to, again, edit site. So we see the page here. We then click on it. It's just an image. Click on it, go to the header section, and I would create a group just like we did here. So let's go to the navigator. I think I don't know what it's called, really, outline it. So here, I can create, so right now there's a group and there's a row within it, and then there's a site logo and the other one, and it's spaced between what it's called. So it's pushing, sorry. And so what we want to do, we might just create another row inside. So here, I'm going to click add before, puts it behind it, and I'm going to do a row. And it's something so small. You could do a group as well, but I'm going to do a row. And so I'm going to grab the site logo, put it inside, and then I'm just going to add something else. I'm going to do add after, and I'm just going to do heading. And so for the heading, I'm going to write Designer logic. And we can't see it because the default color we had said was white. So I'm just going to change that here to black. And then the size, something like that. And then we can make it bold, right? So you could do something like that. Then go to row. And then you can see the justification options here as well. So here I'm just going to change the block spacing for it. And that's pretty much it. There we are. And so now I can view the page again.
Oh yeah.
So this is all using the font that they had, but you can also go in and modify the font to use the font that you like. But then again, just change it in the default settings so that it goes for everything. But I mean, this already out of the box. It's like, well, I mean, I could start a free trial, definitely.
It looks great. It's amazingly fast. That's really cool.
And then we can add more sections, right? So down here, we could do browse all, patterns, go down here to explore all patterns. And then there's a lot of them. So here you can see these calls to action patterns, right? You can have like, if you have an ebook or something, a white paper that you want to show, that's really nice. You've got all these sections, right? So maybe features.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Yeah. So which one do you like here? If you want to scroll, let me know.
Probably the one on the far upper right. Yeah,
This
probably
one?
that one. I
Okay, so
guess. Yeah.
that could be one, and then
You have a better eye for this, so what do you think?
I like that one. I think that was a nice one. So here, same deal here. I'm just gonna go and do the group here, style, and then maybe remove some of this extreme padding that they had. Right? Well, maybe like that. Okay. So this I think looks nice because we have sort of the gray, light gray, and then we could do white behind it. So let me. There it is. So we have white for the next section, which is very neat as well. Do you like how it looks?
Yep.
Okay, so here again, we just need like a heading, subheading, blah blah blah, and so we had some leftover headlines, right? So let's grab some of these, and you're gonna change all this, but just built for speed. I don't know. And so we have that, and then we can add features. So now we look at your real site, which is here, and let's look at some of the. So these are features, right? So we could do project management. And so we could do project management. And I suggest here, like, don't do caps. So always write
okay.
in whatever. Okay, so in the regular case, and then you could just change the case here in CSS, and you can change the appearance. And so that way, if
flexible.
Yeah, and it's better for accessibility and everything. You don't want it to shout. So here you could do a list here. So we're doing it right now. It's like a text, but if you wanted to, it could be a list here. So you could do.
Yeah, lists would be better actually.
You could do a list and then grab these as an example. And these are huge, but we would change the typography. And then maybe we don't want.
Yeah, I need to edit those.
Yeah, so like here, you could also do like a little icon thing, or
right.
And we add some spacing. So let's see what we have here. This is it's just a group here, but you can play around with it because you could do like another group inside it. Like again, we have this paragraph, but maybe we do a group here, or a stack, which is a vertical thing, and then we can grab these separately and just put them in here. I'm just adding that, and then like separate individual ones.
Right.
And I'll show you why. It'll make sense in a second. Because that way, I can still grab them all and change the typography to small. But since I have a stack, now I can go down here and change the spacing
Nice.
for them. And so we can get rid of this. And there we are. And let's just take a look at it. Okay, so you can do whatever. You can have headlines with points, or you could do images within some of these, or you could just write text like these, which also look very clean. It might make sense. So I would say, just looking at it now, there's a lot of content. So maybe we do like a project management section. And then you have like project dashboard, and it's one of these, and then your explanation, and proposals and your explanation, and invoices and your explanation. And so you have this sort of feature section for project management, which is very important to showcase the whole thing instead of cramming it like this.
Yeah.
And so you, similar to what you did here, you have separated them. So maybe you have one for like the main one, and then you have some other content, and then maybe you have another section for features for the web clipper, and then some other content, and like that. And so that way you can do that. So these are very important in and of themselves. So I would say you probably want to do something like, I'm just going to go back here. You probably want to do something where you showcase only the main things. Like here, you could just do like this. So project management, larger design firms, web clipper, supplier, like you just do those, right? And then a very succinct explanation for each. And then if they click more, we can have a full page just explaining each of those with large images, right? Because you can do very nice, like let's say we do that. You have project management, and you have web clipper, and then you have like, I don't know, notifications, blah blah blah. So you have that, and then you can have another page. So let me actually do that right now. So here, I'm going to go to the website, just new page, and I'm going to call it project management. Okay, I'm just going to like save the draft or publish, whatever you want. It's fine. So here, this doesn't have anything, but this page could have, I'm going to add, browse all, patterns. It could be its own thing, like right, or something. And then below it, you could do a very nice, I don't know if they have it in Ollie, but I've seen it used a lot, where there's a pattern where you show sections like back and forth images. Let me see. Like this. So you could do like flip-flop of this, and here you have the image of of this, right, without the duotone filter. And then you could do something like that and explain, and then below it we could do like the opposite. So we can have another group like this one. We can duplicate it, right? But then we can flip it. So we can do like, this column can go here. And so now we have this page where we can like explain these features with images or videos or whatever. That makes
Hmm.
sense. And
Yeah.
now this, I think this way you can really explain. So the homepage will be your teaser, but then from here you can actually link these to the different pages. And
Do you think
that's
it's better to have them linked to another page
yes.
entirely,
Yes,
or to
because
have
there's so much content in this one page that you were showing me
right?
that it's too much for a homepage. It's too much
Yeah.
text. It takes time to load. It's everything. So, but there's also such good information in it. So I suggest doing something where you're teasing
Right.
the content. You do like you very precisely say what they can get now, and then you explain the main features with whatever they need to be like. They don't need to read everything. It's like, oh, web clipper. Again, use GPT, right? So let's do it now. So the web clipper thing, here it is. One, two, three, and okay. So now I can go in here and say, right? So you see capture organized product specs and images from a page using the clipper and then save into your designer logic projects, right? So it's just what they need to know. And with that, they could make a purchase decision. The
Right.
rest is extra. It's like, oh, but how does it work? How does it look? Because you don't want to leave them hanging, right? So now they can go to learn more and they can see images of it or videos of it being used, but it doesn't have to be on your homepage,
Gotcha.
right?
That makes a lot of sense.
I think that's a way better way to do it because that way, and people will go through the website and things. You can just link everything together, which is really neat. But you want to just showcase the main features, definitely have testimonials. So after this, you can have like either a pricing section or a testimonial section, um, like this, right? And then maybe I do pricing because people are always looking for pricing. You can also find patterns here, but you could do a pricing table. I like. There's one here that's really nice. Okay.
Oh yeah, right. That looks good. Yeah.
So you got this section, and then you've got a contrast, right? You have two like bigger customers that are known in the space, and then pricing, very clear pricing,
Hmm.
and then more more testimonials, right? Or client logos, that all that sort of stuff. But this is a converting page. You can see what you want, what you need. All the information is there, and then you can dive into all these additional
Right. Right.
things, which are very important. But in order to really showcase them, they have to have their own page so that they can breathe and show the big images, and it's not like a endless scroll of a page, if that makes
Right.
sense.
Right. Yeah, that does. What
Like,
about the stuff like the contact form and stuff like
yeah, so contact form, I recommend having. There's a different. That's a great question. So there's a new contact form block coming, and that should be very nice to use. But as the time of this recording, I'm not sure it's stable yet. But there are a lot of contact form plugins out there that are very good, like Contact Form 7 and Gravity Forms and a bunch of other ones. Or you can even use like another offsite form. But you don't necessarily want the form itself on the homepage, but you want a way to contact you. So you can have like a contact button up here and it'll take you to a contact page. And that's where
uh-huh.
you have that form and you have some options for them to check if it's support based or whatever or sales. And then that
Right.
form will just send an email to you or put it in your CRM, etc. That's why some of these plugins are good, like Gravity Forms and others, because they give you a lot of flexibility of what happens when the data is submitted, and then most of them already have protections for like CAPTCHA and bots and stuff like that. So it's good, and that's what you would probably do until that core form comes out, which will be very nice. as
So
well.
when the one does come out, it'll be something to put on a separate page of its own too, or
It could, like you could put it on that contact page. It's just if you're doing it now, you might use, like I said before, like you might use Gravity forms that a lot of people use,
yeah.
or anything.
I
There's a
think
bunch of them. There's free.
yeah, Woofu is I think what I have now on
Yeah,
it is Woofu.
there's a bunch of them, and they're used by everyone. Like Very From's a big one, and there's a lot. So you just those ones are very easy to use, drag and drop as well, and you just drop it in. And then you can put it on the homepage if you want, but typically you'll put it in a contact page. You can also have like a sidebar come in. You can even not have a contact form and just use like intercom or whatever the solution you're using for the live chat and questions, and just use that as your communications point. So
Hmm.
it's up to you. But what we've tried to show here is that everything can be done directly within the visual editor.
Yeah, I'd say it's really amazing how quickly you can pop that together.
Yeah, it is. It's
It's
and performant and with real HTML and CSS. It's not like some of these other designers. Sometimes when you're working on Wix, it's all like a canvas and you're moving things around. And so if you go to the code, it's a mess. Like it'll
yeah,
work and you can do pretty nice things, but the code is a mess. And here it's all like really, it's just a nice, properly structured. Got your divs, you've got your classes, and what the block editor does for those technical folk out there, it uses all these nice helper classes like has primary color and has text color and has small font size, and so it's using those sort of helper classes so that it doesn't have to create a ton of CSS. It's just you have that main CSS and you can apply it, and that's where you can reuse those styles. So it's really well thought out. So this is the future of WordPress, and I really like it. It's getting you to not required to use a page builder plugin, which can be
mhm.
confusing to learn for some, but also it affects performance. They all affect performance, and this is just it's really performant. And if we add something, I don't know the hosting here, of course, what it's this is not related, but the hosting on SWP, I have no idea what it looks like. It's just really fast, but if you have a real host, this will all make more sense. But still, I mean, look, there it is. The whole
Fast.
page load, that was 0.18 seconds to load. And we're not even like in a high performance, we're just in an instant site that we just spun
Right.
up at the beginning of the call. So it's nice. And it's just using 8 MB of memory.
That's so
It's a very nice, and you can load it up now. If you give you this link, you can go to the page and it'll work. So that's that's the site editor. We'll go into it deeper in other videos about like how everything works and go step by step, but this was just an example of how somebody with a real project and a real website can go in and just start building out using these patterns, and then just take them apart and start removing sections that you don't like and add other sections and change the color, change the text, change the images. And then your typical WordPress things, if you want to add plugins like a form plugin or whatever, you can still do that and use them. And all and most of the most sorry used plugins and the most popular ones are beginning to add, if they haven't already, block support. So a lot of these, instead of using shortcodes, you will now use blocks within these same plugins, which is really nice. And so they will all work the same way as we've seen now with the drag and drop interface. And this works also for posts. So once you start the blog, then you can have your blog page, and then within that blog page, you can also create like the way we created the template, header, footer, content for pages. You can do the exact same thing for the blog, which is really nice. So if you go back here and there's a post here, right? There's the typical hello world post. So if I view it, that's what it looks like. But if I create a page, say I go here, there's no, I'm just because we can, let's do blog, just creating a new page, and I'm gonna create let's do browse all. Let's see if there's like posts here. Let's do this one. It's just a pattern for the blog, all right? And so here it is, publish, and now we have this page, and here it's just a little grid of images. So if I were to create a new post, second post, and then some, I'm just gonna grab some text that I had in my clipboard, publish. So I can now go to the blog page, and it'll show me the post, cool. Right? And so this blog page, I can go in and I can edit this query block, which is it's a block, the core block from WordPress. This is very powerful. The query block, I'll talk about it in another video, many other videos. This is very nice because you can go in and say what post type you want to show, how you want to order it, but then you can go in and modify. If we look at it grabs a post template, you can say, I want the image to show, and I want an overlay on the images with an opacity, and I might want the title. Maybe I don't want the category here, so I could just remove the categories from here if I don't want them. So it's not like you have to do the PHP template again like before. You just do these, and like maybe I want the whole group to have like a I don't know, a box shadow on it, so they float. And so now, if I view the page, these are sort of floating. They have a little rounded border. And so you can create a very nice post grid, and have your blog, and then you can edit what this looks like. So right now, this is the template for the blog post, but then you can modify it as well. You can go to edit site, single post now. So this is the same way we did the page template. We can do a special template that when you're reviewing a blog post, this is how it looks. You've got the title, the featured image, and then all the content, and then some responses at the bottom. So, but you can do a complete design as you would like, and it's just great. The other day, Jamie Poolpress, he has a big YouTube account on WordPress, and he redid the TechCrunch website. Just like the visual part of it, of course, not the whole thing. And he says like, well, the site cost $1 million to build, but I just recreated it in blocks, right? And he does it like in a little while. And then they had an interview with him and talked about like everything that goes behind the scenes, but it got that much traction. Because you can. And so he and other people are doing videos showing like how you can very easily recreate designs or just build off the designs that you already have using the block editor. And it's so nice, so easy to use. It's just a breath of fresh air compared to what it used to be. So I hope it helps viewers. I hope it helps you, Kevin, with this. If you have any questions, reach out in the comments, and of course we'll continue talking. But this is just a new way to really fast way to create your site, and then just grow it as you go. And then you can just host it anywhere. We did the InstaWP thing. So here it'll last 10 hours and then it'll disappear. But if you do claim site, which we'll do after the call, you just grab it, and then from there you can just transfer it to your existing host whenever you're ready, etc. So yeah,
that's great. It looks fantastic to do that. It's really cool. Really cool.
Excellent. I'm happy you like it. So we're gonna jump off the call now, and well, continue offline in the call. But for the video, we're done, and stay tuned for other videos about WordPress and the block editor and how all this works out. And then in the future, we will show what Kevin's site turned out eventually once he was done.